As a cooperative, Hoosier Energy is always looking to provide the most value to our 18-member systems. One way we do this is through continually identifying ideas to eliminate or avoid costs that could have a negative impact on our rate structure. In 2008, we launched a corporate-wide cost savings and efficiency initiative in order to track the progress and keep this key issue top of mind. Since then, Hoosier Energy has realized nearly $30 million in savings, and that progress was continued in 2015. Total project savings implemented this year alone total nearly $2 million. This video update highlights 3 specific projects that help raise the bar for corporate efficiency efforts. Working together, Power Delivery and Fleet Automation discovered ways to streamline their processes to be more effective and efficient, thus reducing cost.
As our bucket trucks age and will eventually need to be replaced, we have found more affordable options to extend the life of these units by remounting the old Terex equipment, including the bucket and aero units from a previous piece of equipment onto a new chassis. We do not just simply run a vehicle to a particular mileage or number of hours. We maintain a service and maintenance record on each and every vehicle. We'll check those records mainly on a quarterly basis. Then if our maintenance time and parts start increasing, we'll evaluate that particular vehicle and determine if we should replace or rebuild it. We expect for the reliability of this vehicle to be the same as if we bought a new vehicle. Going forward, we continue to rebuild other vehicles to save both time and money for the company. By remounting in-house, we have control over the remounts. Our maintenance team will be able to monitor and be readily involved in the process versus having to be taught when delivered. When speaking with our maintenance team, they discussed the ease of maintenance on this unit versus the new one. They elaborated that the service on this unit will save close to double the man hours versus the maintenance on the new model of Terex units. Regular service requires 8 hours of service for the new RMX series. The older model or High Ranger 6H series would only require around 4 hours. So in terms of cost of buying new versus refurbishing a unit, we can save around $200,000 by remounting the bucket onto this new chassis. We expect to use this new truck for approximately 6 to 8 years, similar to a refurbishing. There are time savings as well. We can cut 2 months or more by doing this rebuild instead of ordering new and building from scratch.
For many years, Hoosier Energy has used aerial line inspections to patrol all of our transmission lines 3 times annually. In the spring of 2015, we contracted with an aerial transmission line crew to perform a comprehensive line inspection of our 345 system. Through that effort, we discovered 2 critical maintenance issues that needed to be dealt with quickly. Looking at the 2 issues that were found during our comprehensive review, these repairs, while simple in nature, would have required an outage to the line, notification to the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, or MISO, as well as mobilization of a Hoosier Energy transmission line crew. Overall, the repairs would have taken about 2 days using conventional methods. By using an aerial provider and working through a helicopter from a platform in which the lineman was able to aerially access the line, connect himself with the line, and become energized at that 345 kV level, we were able to reduce that repair time to about 4 hours. That's a benefit for us, certainly from a revenue perspective and a mobilization perspective. During this spring repair, we were able to avoid about $18,000 in costs and lost revenue. It's important to mention that had these repairs taken place in one of our peak months as opposed to the spring or the fall, the avoided losses would have been closer to about $50,000. And that's because the revenues on our 345 kV system are typically higher during those peak months than in the spring or the fall. Moving forward, we will continue to look at our contractors' abilities and our resources to match those with our needs, and we will continue to look for ways to better utilize those resources in order to reduce costs and avoid expenditures.
SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, and it's really just an acronym to describe the process that we use to gather data from the field and bring it down to the operators in the control center. And so the fiber optic cabling is really just a means for the devices in the field to communicate to the RTU, which stands for Remote Terminal Unit. During the 4-year distribution SCADA project, it soon became very evident to myself and our team of communications technicians that the way that we were doing our fiber optic cabling at these sites was not necessarily the most efficient. Essentially, the process that we use at the site required the technicians to pull the cable, then do all the steps necessary to terminate the cable with the appropriate connectors. While on the surface that doesn't sound like much, it involves a plethora of tools as well as creating a clean environment, which is sometimes difficult to do. So what we decided to do was investigate different manufacturers that provide us with pre-terminated cables, which are made in a clean environment and tested before they leave the factory, as well as investigate options to have the fiber optic termination panels we were using on the stations pre-made and labeled, so that essentially our technicians just need to go to the site, pull the cable, and plug them in. So as a result of this change in our methodology, we realized about a $60 savings per fiber optic cable at the substation, but each substation has a minimum of 11 fiber optic cables, and then for the fiber optic patch panel, we also realized a savings of around $400, so that equates to around $1,000 to maybe $1,500 per distribution substation. During the time that we implemented this methodology for the distribution SCADA project, we realized a cost savings of around $33,000. Going forward, based on new construction as well as other areas of the company that we're using this methodology, I estimate that we save around $10,000 to $20,000 a year.
Years down the road, the savings gained from these highlighted projects will continue to compound, producing significant cost savings for members and ultimately the end consumer. True to our continuous improvement culture, we are looking for employees to raise the bar on their efficiency efforts. After all, identifying these areas for improvement plants the seed for savings to grow, helping to keep electric rates low for members.